All right, if you were watching closely, let me just adjust the camera here real quick. If you were watching closely in the background of one of my episodes, you would have noticed this book right here toppling off the shelf and falling to the floor. This is a book. It's called Tommysaurus Rex, and it's put out by Doug TenNapel. And Doug TenNapel is, if you've listened to any of his podcasts, any of his things, you know his claim to fame is this old cartoon show and old video game called Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim was my childhood in a large way. I remember my brother talking about it when I was a kid and saying, "Hey, have you heard of Earthworm Jim?" Had no idea what it was. And it was around the time I got introduced to Warcraft. And so Warcraft and Earthworm Jim were the two games that really formed my childhood when it came to video games, at least. And so I owe a lot to Doug TenNapel as far as influencing my entertainment choices as a child. And I hope it's just true. I think I said it in a previous video, but I distinctly remember drawing Earthworm Jim on a Sunday school marker board, and then my friend erased it because I don't know, maybe he was a jerk. But anyway, so Doug TenNapel, he's well known for Earthworm Jim. He's done the Neverhood, which I never got a chance to play. It was more of a claymation video game, which looks really neat, but never got to play it. He's put out a whole bunch of other material through the years. He did do a stint on VeggieTales and just various other things. So I believe he worked on the Jurassic Park game, and I'm not sure which one it is because I played a whole bunch of those. And so it's crazy when you stumble upon someone and you're like, wow, you influenced like half my childhood. But anyway, so Earthworm Jim is known for just quirky, hokey stuff. Just kind of a weird game, and I've started playing it again recently. I got it on Good Old Games, and so I've been thoroughly enjoying that. And so there may be some Let's Play footage that shows up on my channel. I know this isn't a Let's Play channel, but I think you need to experience the joys of Earthworm Jim. But anyway, Doug TenNapel has also put out a lot of other books, and one of them is this Tommysaurus Rex. Now, in one of my previous videos, for some reason, I don't know why, maybe it was a long week, I said Teddysaurus Rex, and by the time I realized it, I'd already uploaded the video, and it was there, and so I just kind of like, oh, well, I'll just pin a comment right here and say, I did wrong. And so with Tommysaurus Rex, it is well worth the read. I don't know if you're into graphic novels. Graphic novels are kind of long form comic books, and this book clocks in at almost 140 pages. So it's a good size book. Takes a bit to read. And Tommysaurus Rex is the story about a boy and his dinosaur. And I'm gonna highly recommend it. I don't have much negative to say about the book. It's beautifully illustrated, as you can see. It's just very, very vibrant colors, very clear pretty much what's going on. I've read my share of graphic novels where you read them and you're like, I don't know what just happened. And for the most part, that's how this book reads. You understand it. It's very clear. The storyline progresses pretty well. Every now and then there's just these weird like intermissions where you'll go to like a full page spread and you'll just kind of be like, what? And so there's one where the boy's playing fetch with the dinosaur and he comes back with a cop stuck to the motorcycle. And there's another part later on where the grandpa is just leaning on a fence and a guy comes up and talks to him about taking out one of his cows. And so there's just some random side things that happen, and this is what I was talking about. So the grandpa is sitting there, and it's pretty much the same drawing, other than the guy has gone into him. But it's more or less the same drawing, and it's just the guy coming up and saying, will you take care of my cow for me? Like, kill it. And it's just funny. This is one of those books that had me laughing at one point, and then I don't tear up a whole lot, but at least feeling emotion in other parts. And then at the very, very end, when it all like shakes out, you're just kind of sitting there like, I'm sad now. And so it's a really, really excellent book. Now, as far as delivery and colors and just all the detail and the design, just top notch. Just really, really great. Like I said, I don't have anything negative to say about it as far as all that goes. I was reading it with my 3-year-old and my 2-year-old. So I got it and it looked it looked innocent enough. I was hesitant because I know there are times where you have a book and it's done by someone you know about, and you're kind of like, I don't know what might be in this. And so I decided to take my chances. My boys aren't quite at the stage where they can read ahead of me, and so I could kind of go out in front of them and figure out, what was going on. There were a few times. So there's one part where the bully is sticking dog poop or some type of poop in the boy's face. That it happens. There's another part where the boy's very very angry at the bully and says he wishes him dead, and there's some things like that happen, and so there's a few things that might be a little bit mature for a 3-year-old, but I read it just fine, and so as far as the content is concerned, as long as you're not just like old fuddy duddy, it is well within the readability level of very young children. There's going to be parts of it that they won't understand. So my kids are a little young for this, but they do ask for this book on a regular basis. They really do. But my kids also regularly ask for "Where's My Cow" by Terry Pratchett. So my kids are unique, but they do very much like the dinosaur book. They'll go into my office looking for it. And when they find it, they'll bring it out to me, and we'll sit and read it. And so I've read it through once with them, and I've started working through it a second time, and I've owned this book for about a week. And so that's how much they like it. So as far as coloring, details, all of that stuff, just top notch. As far as child-proof content, I think it's well within the reading level of young children. I think if you have a slightly older child, they're going to get more out of it. It is a scholastic book. So it is made for a little bit older audience. But where I find it shines especially, the humor is great. As an adult reading it, I enjoy the read. I enjoy a lot of reads, but I enjoyed the read. I found there were moments where I was laughing, and I don't know if it was just I was so tired or if it was truly that funny. It could be a combination of both. It was a very funny book. There are little things that happen on the side that you're like, okay, that's just funny. But where I loved the book, like just so good. As a parent and as a Christian, I'm trying to find ways to teach my boys about real life. Try to teach them about things that matter. And so as I read this book with my boys, there were times where there was a bully, and the bully was acting in certain ways, and it was very easy for me to have a discussion with the boys like, oh, we should be nice to one another. We shouldn't treat one another this way. And kind of use what the bully was doing as an illustration of, this is how you're to act. I think one of the most powerful moments in the book is partway through in the beginning of the book. The boy's dog has died, and the parents send him to stay with his grandfather to kind of, it's like a system reset. So he's staying with his grandfather. He runs into the bully. The bully shoves some poop in his face and picks on him for like no good reason. And he's very upset. He goes and he talks to his grandfather. And his grandfather was like, "That's horrible." And he's like, and then the little boy Eli is like, "Why would you treat someone like that? Like, why is that? Why do people do this?" And I love what the grandfather says. He says, "Well, why do you think it's wrong to do that? Like, who taught you?" And he's like, "Well, my dad, I think." And he's like, "Well, that could be your answer." And it's a subtle little thing, and then immediately the next frame flips over as you flip the page, and you're in the bully's bedroom, and there's a note sitting on his desk that basically says, "Where are you? Like, Dad, where are you? Dad, where are you? Dad, where are you?" And it's just this like heartbreaking note where the boy is desperately wanting to connect with his dad, and you see that play out throughout the rest of the story. And it's just the little bully kid, you sympathize with him because you're like, yeah, I get it. And so the book does a really good job of presenting a flawed main character. I mean, there's one point where the main character has a lot of bad stuff happen to him, and he basically says right out like he hates the bully, and he wishes the bully had died. And you're just like, whoa. And I loved that because again, that gave me a handle that I could then talk to my boys about. And again, they're 3. But it gave me a handle to say, listen, like, this is not how we act. When we are wronged, this is not how we behave. We have to forgive. And that's where I found it really, really powerful at the end of the book, because it is, at the end of the day, a lesson on forgiveness. There's a lot that happens to this boy, and it's really all done by the same family. You just don't realize it till closer to the end. And a lot of stuff is done to this boy, and he has to turn around at the end, and he has to make the choice to forgive. And it's just super powerful. There's one point where the boy gets something, and he's like, "Is it really mine?" And the grandfather points out wisely, he's trying to prove that his apology is sincere. And so there's just all these wonderful little lessons. Again, quirky little art styles here and there. Just really, really cool how everything ties together. And so as far as a recommendation, this is a must-have. Like, go get this book, put it on your shelf, read it with your kids. It's a fun read. It has a lot of different character moments. Like I said, there's going to be a few moments where there's poop mentioned. They're in the park talking about poop because the dinosaur's been pooping in the park, and the dinosaur pees in the mayor's car. And so you're like, all right, if you're extremely offended by that type of stuff, okay, don't get the book. But again, it's innocent fun. And again, the lessons are just so good. As I talk about these type of things, I do want to point out this important fact. We fill our children's heads with garbage. Especially if you're someone who just puts your kids down in front of TV for a while to entertain them. Think about the garbage. Think about the garbage philosophy that your child is being taught. That's why I think this book is so powerful, because it's written by someone who understands the power of a worldview, and that person is trying to say, listen, these are truths we need to learn. These are truths we need to pass on. I know for him it's very important, drawing attention to the fact that we are made in God's image. And so even if you are mistreated, the bully who mistreated you is still made in God's image, and he's still special to God. And that comes out in the book. And so, Doug, if you do watch this, I doubt you will, but if you do, thank you for the book. It was absolutely amazing. And I hope to review Newts. I have the Newts collection coming in later in the week, and that's another graphic novel set. And then I will review Earthworm Jim and Bigfoot Bill and all that when that comes in later on in the year. And so I got a few things lined up in the Doug TenNapel arena. But again, if you get a chance to read it, go buy it, keep it on your shelf, read it with your kids. You'll enjoy it. They'll enjoy it. And so this has been a Janus Project book review. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit a like button down below, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again soon. All right, this is Mike, signing out with the Janus Project.